Good morning, fourth grade. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday. All right, today we're going to work on how we can mix changed numbers into improper fractions and vice versa, or improper fractions back into mixed numbers. This is an example of a mixed number. Before we go any further, I'm going to actually do a quick review of a couple of vocabulary words. All right, so the last time you saw this was on Monday, I believe. So we're just going to continue on and add to our fraction vocabulary. The last two that we're going to talk about are going to be improper fraction. An improper fraction is a fraction where the numerator is greater than the denominator. If you're not sure what that numerator-denominator position is, just look right above. Arrow tells us which one is numerator and which one is denominator. Okay. An example of an improper fraction is 4/3. The word improper is kind of like the word wrong or not done correctly. So it's improper or looks kind of wrong because the numerator should have a smaller number on top. Imagine making a pyramid. Okay, you want less people on top than you do on the bottom because you want more base or more on the bottom. Lastly, a mixed number. A mixed number is a number that is represented with both a whole number and a proper fraction. Again, a mixed number has to have a whole number and a proper fraction. If an improper fraction has a greater number as numerator than the denominator, a proper fraction would have a lesser number as numerator and a greater number as denominator. Okay. Just thinking of that triangle if you can. You want less people on top to make sure it's nice and sturdy and it works. It works if the smaller number is on top, larger number is on bottom, and that's what makes it proper, improper. Okay. Again, review these notes anytime you need to get more understanding of words that we're dealing with working with fractions, okay? So with that in mind, 1 3/5 is an example of a mixed number because it has both a whole number and a proper fraction. Today we're going to focus on how we can change this mixed number into an improper fraction. So it's been a minute since we've done this, but we have done this. So as a reminder, we're going to walk through the process a few times. In order to change this mixed number to an improper fraction, we are going to multiply our whole number and our denominator. 1 times 5 is 5. And then we're going to simply add our numerator. 5 plus 3 is 8. Our denominator does not change. All right, today again, we're also going to change from mixed number to improper fraction, but also improper fraction back to mixed number. So we want to make sure this is correct. In order for us to check this, we want to actually change this back to a mixed number just to check our work. Okay? It's very important to check your work, especially when it's math, especially when we get overly confident in our skills and we make an oopsie. Okay? Let's try to avoid those oopsies. And in order to look at this improper fraction, again, improper fraction because this number, our numerator is greater than our denominator. That's improper. Looking at the triangle, if it's a triangle, we need less over here. Not sure if that triangle thing helps you, but it just helps me in my brain. So maybe if that can help one person, that's great. All right, so when we look at this fraction bar, we should notice a couple things. It separates these two numbers. It keeps numerator away from denominator, but it's also viewed as a division sign. So you can read this as an 8 divided by 5. So if I were to divide 8 by 5, I'm dividing 8 by 5. Neighbor is coming by and wants to come inside. Okay, a lot of us say this backwards. So 8 is divided by 5. 8 is being visited by our friend number 5. Number 5 is coming by and visiting number 8. Okay. Inside house, outside. 5's coming in. Okay. 5 goes into 8 how many times? 1 time. 5 times 1 is 5. We subtract, we get 3. Nothing to bring down. Guess what? It's a remainder of 3. So this is what we're going to use to take a look at this. We want to see if 1 3/5 mixed number changes into an improper fraction of 8/5. 8 divided by 5. Did it. So that question is going to answer, how many times does 5 go into 8? 5 goes into 8 1 whole time with 3 left over out of a possible 5. Okay, we're going to do this a couple more times, so if that does not quite make as much sense as you want it to, we will do this a couple more so you get a little bit more comfortable with the idea of this. Again, mixed number to improper fraction, checking our work, improper fraction back to mixed number. And 8/5 is, in fact, correct. All right. Our next mixed number is 3 4/6. We want to change this into an improper fraction. In order to do that, we are going to multiply our whole number with our denominator. 3 times 6 is 18. Whatever you need to do along the way to help support you. Okay, 3 times 6 is 18. What are we going to do with the 4? We're going to add that 4. 18 plus 4 is 22. What is our denominator? It's still 6. It does not change. I want to check my work. I'm not sure if my math fact was correct, so what do I need to do? I'm going to look at this as a division problem, and I'm going to check my work to make sure my improper fraction is correct for 3 4/6. So I'm going to divide 22. The dividend is always inside. Okay? 22 divided by 6. 22 is being visited by the number 6. 6 wants to come on inside. All right. 6 goes into 22 how many times? Yeah, 6 times 4 is 24. Bring it back. So it's 3 times. I'm going to put the 3 over the 2, the second 2, because 6 goes into 22, not into 2. Okay, so 6 times 3 is 18, and then we subtract. When we subtract, I can't take 8 away from 2, so I go next door. 2 becomes a 1. This 2 becomes a 12. 12 minus 8, I can do that. 12 minus 8 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. Don't have to write that down. There's nothing to bring down, so I'm done. But how would I write this as a remainder? That would be a remainder of 4. So this has my answer. I just need to see what I'm looking at and make sure I'm doing it correctly. 22 divided by 6. 6 goes into 22 3 whole times with 4 left over out of 6. And it matches with our original mixed number. Nice. Okay, again, if we're not quite getting it, just take a moment, pause, and just rewind and go along with the steps as slowly as you need to, as many times as you need to. Okay, we're going from mixed number to improper fraction back to mixed number, and checking our work. Okay, if we were to start with just the improper fraction, and I need to change this improper fraction into a mixed number. Again, we're looking at this as a division problem. 16 divided by 4. Okay, some of us are already doing that mental math, but I'm going to think about what my mental math looks like on the board. So 16 divided by 4. Okay, neighbors on the bottom trying to get in. All right, 4 goes into 1? Not. Okay, 4 goes into 16? Yes. How many times? I know that 4 times 4 is 16, and I'm putting the 4 over the 6 because 4 goes into 16, not into 1. 16 minus 16 is 0. I don't need to write remainder 0. That's just strange. Don't write remainder 0. If there's no 0, don't write the remainder. So 4 goes into 16 4 whole times. No remainders. So I'm not going to write that. So I know some of you might be tempted to do this. There's no need. All you need to do is write 4 because 0 fourths is the same as 0. So the only thing you need to write is 4. 16 fourths as a mixed number is just 4. Okay. I'm going to say that one more time just because I think I may have said that kind of quickly. Anytime you have a numerator of 0 over, I don't care what number that is as a denominator, it can be 104, excuse me, I'm not what I'm, no. I meant to say 0 out of 104. Doesn't matter whether it's over 4, 104, 1,000,004. If there is a 0 in the numerator position, that means it's a 0. So you don't write that to represent 0. All right, let's do one more. Again, improper fraction because our numerator is greater than our denominator. That just looks wrong because we need to change it into a mixed number. All right, we're going to look at this as a division problem. 12 divided by 5. 12 being visited by 5. How many times can 5 go into 12? Can 5 go into 1? No. Can 5 go into 12? Yes. I know this because 12 is 5 or greater. How many times though? 2 times. I know that 5 times 2 is 10. And then I'm going to subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. I'm not writing that in. I know that it's 0. Now, there's nothing left to bring down, so this is now my remainder. So 12 fifths as a mixed number is 5 going into 12 would be 2 whole times with 2 out of 5. And you already know that you can check this mixed number. If you're not really confident in your division here yet, you can always do a little multiplication and adding. 2 times 5 equals 10. 10 plus 2 equals 12. Denominator stays the same. You can always check your work, whether you're going from improper fraction to mixed number or mixed number back to improper fraction. Okay? You can divide or multiply and add. But please, please go back and please check your work. All right, today's work again is to change mixed numbers into improper fractions and improper fractions back to mixed numbers. Our assignment today is just a few questions, making sure that you are comfortable and confident with this skill. If you're needing some additional review, if the videos are not enough for you, just reach out and see what we can do to help support you in a more smaller group setting or during our time together for math. Okay, if you have any questions, you know what to do. You have to let us know that you need some help, okay? And you have to do that Canvas work. So please watch the video, do your work, and ask for help if you need that. And that's perfectly okay. All right, guys, have fun with this. I know you love your fractions. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. And yep, you know what cuts coming.